Greetings all. How's everyone doing tonight? Cheeto?
How you doing?
AJ, how are you guys doing?
Doing good. Excited to be here as per usual.
Yeah, doing pretty good.
Did we do last week? We did last week, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. We did do last week. Had a live stream, and it was another good one. I was looking forward to this one tonight. Time got away from me. I was telling Cheeto before you got on, I should have warmed up my dinner a little sooner, but so now sitting here cooling off is just ramen noodles. But I
feel free. I will not be offended if you eat your ramen noodles. Well, we go on here. Let's see.
Good old ramen.
It's quick-ish, kinda. It just it takes a while to cool off, and I was in a hurry because I had my head down installing some games on Steam to play for later and watching Suits on Netflix. And I look at the time, and it's oh shit, we got a live stream in like 15 minutes. So boil the water, do the ramen.
I headed down to the kitchen around 6, and then I went outside. Crystal had some garbage to throw. She's take it. So I took the garbage out, and I opened up the garbage can, and we have like 2 garbage cans out by the big plastic ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just inherited one from her mom, and 2 recycling bins, which we always fill up these days. But anyway, I opened the garbage can, and there was a little mouse in it. We have a mouse problem, I'm told by Crystal. I don't consider them a problem because I think they're cute, but she's like, we gotta get rid of the mice. I'm like, oh, come on, they're just mice. She thinks they're going to eat through the foundation of the house. I'm just like, so anyway, this one, I was like, how did a mouse get in the garbage can? And, I'm thinking, oh, poor little mouse, he's going to get thrown into the garbage truck and crushed. I got to save his life. So and because it's all, believe me, it's all like cat litter refuse in there.
Mm.
I guess there was a gazillion not a gazillion, but there was a bunch of maggots in there. I was like, oh, fudge. So I get extra garbage bags and some gloves, and I'm pulling, and I turn it over so he'll run out, and I'm throwing the garbage into some other garbage bags so I can tie it up and throw it in the other garbage can. And he finally gets out at the end. It's a cute little mouse, but, we take our animal rescue seriously here. So.
Well, that's good that you don't discriminate against mice. So that's a plus.
Bring us your cats, your dogs, and even your mice.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Steve says, what Steam games are you installing?
I'm installing, I'd been playing through some games, some new ones, some that I had never really finished. I've circled back around to Grand Theft Auto 5. Was going to start poking at that. I've really needed to get caught up on Star Trek Online, so I'm installing that so I can get in there and get caught up on that. So really, those are the main ones. Rocket League, started doing some Rocket League again.
My son loves that game. I don't see the appeal.
Yeah, really. I've been playing that some with my youngest son, and I'm going to try to get my oldest son and into that, and my daughter as well. But Rocket League is a lot of fun. It's a nice game to play, kill some time, and oh man, we were just dunking on some fools yesterday playing Rocket League. We had some good matches.
So I'm waiting for my Blitzball game. That's what I'm waiting for, not Rocket League.
What are you waiting for?
Blitzball. It's a mini game from Final Fantasy X, but it's a lot like Rocket League, but instead people are swimming in water, like in this big orb of water.
Oh,
okay,
interesting. Okay. Sounds different, but I hope I didn't get myself too far behind in Star Trek Online. I think it's probably been a good maybe year or so. And I try not to let that much time go in between, but it's just time just gets away. So I'm gonna get sunk into that.
Well, I haven't partaken in that game in freaking forever.
Yeah. Aren't you mainly playing World of Warships right now? I've been hearing a lot about that one.
Although I'm about to go on hiatus, I decided that it's not. I've got my schedule's just being really booked up, and I'm actually considering learning DaVinci Resolve. Because we have I was talking with one of our directors about stuff that we have, and they're sending me some stuff from this weekend shoot, and I was like, there's so much stuff on our radar array, like 10 years worth of stuff, and I'm like, it would be so much better if I actually was able to edit some of this stuff myself, because as we're talking about making the master documentary of the making of Axanar. So, and there's so much good stuff on here that needs to be mined. What I really need to do is find a way to, give you access, or Frank Parker access. Someone could just jump into the RAID and dig through some stuff and find some stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I'm kind of like committed to, getting through this series of World of Warships, this update, as they say. I'm like 2 levels from finishing out the prizes for this level, and I'm like, there's like no reason for me to play right now. It's just like, it's at this point it's all a dopamine hit. That's the only reason I'm doing it. And that's not a good enough reason. That means it's a drug, and that means I don't do drugs, so I'm like, I need better control over my mind and my body, and that
right.
I don't want a crutch, and I feel like it's a crutch right now. And so I'm like, wow, if I took that hour I play and I spent it editing some like BTS stuff, it'd be time well spent. So
yeah, I hear what you're saying on that. It's kind of tricky because it almost seems like anything you do, even if it's a hobby, then you say to yourself, well, that was an hour I could have spent going on a walk, getting exercise, or doing this, or doing that. And honestly, it's tough to fit it all in, but it's not impossible. At least I don't think. It just depends.
Yeah. No, and that's not to denigrate the value. I mean, heck, I started gaming in 2006, and with a bunch of guys who I met online, and for like 10 years we were playing Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Battlefield was 5 after 4, and then Battlefield 1, and I mean, the number of hours I spent on that game is,
Oh yeah.
Insane.
I don't even want to go back to telling you how many hours I've spent on my big one for a while was World of Warcraft, and I had to get out of that. That one was actually just.
Is this the online, the MMO?
Yeah.
A lot of people fall down that rabbit hole.
Oh, it's a hell of a rabbit hole. Yeah, like I was there. There was a point where I was basically arranging life around that game and raid nights and everything else. And, it gets kind of crazy when you think back the nights that you spent yelling at people in voice chat because they screwed up a pull, or, working on a boss, or a roll didn't go your way for a piece of gear or something. And it was just, it gets kind of ridiculous. And, I've always tried to be diligent about as much as I can. And I don't know how successful I've been, but trying not to get that deep into a game like I did there, where basically life was just being put on hold in favor of a game. And to some degree that can happen, but I traded WoW for STO when that first came out, and was on that pretty religiously for a while. But it's tough with gaming, because you're right, there's that dopamine hit, and some of these games they set them up in a way to where how they reward you with different things, it makes you kind of keep coming back to it and clicking those buttons more and more. You kind of get lost in them.
Yeah, that's true. And Cheeto, what's your game of choice?
Well, it depends. I mean, right now I'm I have a gaming channel, so I do game, but I do it at my leisure. I usually game twice a week because I'm just usually so busy.
Oh, that's good. That's good that you can segregate it like that.
Huh?
That's good that you can segregate it like that.
Yeah. So currently, right now, I'm playing I've been marathoning Star Trek and Breath of Fire games. So I've currently marathon tons of Star Trek games. I've always got a Star Trek game running on my channel. Right now, I'm currently on Star Trek Armada 2. I played Armada 1 before that, and I played other Star Trek games before that. There's just a ton of them. And then Breath of Fire, which is an old retro JRPG series that I marathon. And I mean, I started Breath of Fire like 2 years ago. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I only have 2 days a week that I have the opportunity to really like stream games and play. So that's why I'm like, it takes me like 2 years to get through like a whole thing, So like I think there's 5 games in Breath of Fire. So that's taken me 2 years to get through. I'm almost done with it. And then Star Trek, I've done Armadas, I've done Resurgence, Birth of the Federation, Birth of the Federation, Babylon 5 mod. I've done the Judgment Day and 25th anniversary. I did do some Star Trek Online on there. I didn't do a ton of it because I was trying to play with friends, and like if there's one thing, like playing an MMO with friends is not very like stream friendly, so I kind of gave up on streaming it. So I play with them from time to time on there, but I don't like try to like record it or stream it or anything. I just play it, but we haven't actually gotten together in like probably over a year to play it. So
right.
Yeah, gotcha. No, just as I said, usually a lot of my other work goes into my gaming channel just because I grew up on games. But as real life has it with kids and everything like that, like I don't just have time every night to sit down like a lot of streamers and just stream games for like 4 or 5 hours. It's like I get like 2.5 hours, maybe 2 nights a week, maybe like once on the weekend and once during the week. So I have a small little community, but they're, but they understand like real life gets in the way, as we all know.
Pesky real life.
Oh, that's Dale. Dale, you need an invite, don't you?
If there's Star Trek,
we're live streaming now.
The Next Generation of Final Unity, that's a good PC game. If you haven't done that one, that's a good one.
I tried to download that one, and I actually own it. I have it sitting over here behind this thing here. I actually own Final Unity, but I can't get it to play.
Really?
So yeah. So I have to try to find either a retro rig or somewhere to download it. It's not on like GOG or Steam or anything like that I've seen. So
you know what? It's not. I wonder why.
There's a lot of licensure issues. That's why Birth of the Federation is also not on GOG or Steam, is because there's a lot of licensure issues. Now Armada and Elite Force and some of these other games, like the 25th anniversary and Judgment Day, like all those games are able to be licensed out through whatever company they were with, but there's certain companies that did Star Trek games that can't be licensed out.
Well, that's a shame.
I know. It is.
Hey, Dale, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Can I show you guys something really quick though? Like,
yeah, let's see it.
Since we're talking games, and I want to show you guys what I found just the other day.
Oh, okay. The very first computer game I had ever bought was Star Trek, the 25th anniversary game.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So just the other day, I went through an old box of mine. I literally have not cracked this box open in probably a decade. And I found 2 games in it.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever even played these games. But now
Which
that I'm
ones
like...
are those again? I don't know that I've even heard of those ones.
Star Trek Conquest. It kind of looks like a map Armada game. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Encounters looks like it's kind of like a variant of Star Trek Legacy that was on Xbox and PC.
Yes, Legacy was a good one.
Yeah, so I think this was like the console version of that. I don't know. I haven't cracked it in to see it. I found these in a box, and I'm like, I think somebody got these for me way back in the day because they knew I was a Trekkie, and I just never played them. So I'm like, I am absolutely going to play these now.
Are they unopened?
No, I mean they're open, but they are unused. Like
okay.
they're not unopened. I open all my games. I'm not one who's like keeping it in the wrapping. Like I buy things to use them.
Man, they were crushing it in the 90s with Star Trek games.
Crushing
that was when the Star Trek was at its peak.
Yeah, they were all over the place. There were tons of games.
Yeah, absolutely. What shirt do you have on there, Big J?
Oh, this one is the let's see, live long and prosper.
Gotcha.
Just basic old general Star Trek shirt.
Gotcha.
I've got like a whole closet full of them, so I just kind of go through, like when Batman's selecting which uniform he's going to wear, I just pick out a shirt or uniform. So I said, yeah, I don't think I've worn this one in a while, so yeah, pull that one right out.
How about you, Dale? Do you game at all?
I've got game, but
He's
I
got
don't
game.
have time anymore. So yeah, I haven't played games since probably the Sega systems I had.
Any PC games?
No, like I said, I would lose days playing some of those games, and finally, I just went, I can't do this anymore.
Right, I know. It's you just realize how much time did I just waste? As an analog to our talk about gaming, the whole, how all the Microsoft computers went down. Well, not all of them, but because of that cloud strike update and all, and so Microsoft computers around the world went down, impacting airlines especially, right? And also about Delta still hasn't recovered, I'm told. But so it was real fun. There was a funny tweet from Southwest, and it said something to the effect of, "Oh, you're not laughing now that we're still up just because we're using a Commodore 64 in a warehouse in Delaware."
That's great.
I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, they have a good sense of humor over there. So
yeah, luckily nothing major happened, at least on my end with my company with CrowdStrike.
Oh, my company got hit hard.
Really?
We're in healthcare, so yeah, like all of our systems were down. All of our some of our alternate systems were working, but those were very unreliable and very not all the information pulls over. So yeah, we were hit pretty hard. On Friday we were not able to do anything. We kind of had to go off of memory and treat our patients from memory. Like, who do we think was on? Because it did not come back until like mid-afternoon. Like that's when things started coming back.
Yeah, I heard the CEO for CrowdStrike's getting called into Congress. Like, hey, come on in here. Let's have a talk. Which is a shame because I'm sure that as I was reading some comments on this on the forum, I'm willing to bet that he had no idea what was going on, what was happening. This is probably a middle management button click to do whatever it was that brought down the system. And I know you've got to have a scapegoat and whatever figurehead, but I'm just thinking that's a shame. How badly can you fuck up at work that your boss is the one that gets called in to answer for what you did, and he had nothing to do with it?
But that's why you get paid the big bucks. You get to
say that. Yep, that's exactly it. That's why you get paid the big bucks. You're the one held accountable, because as the owner / VP / president, whatever you are responsible for putting people in places so that the job can get done.
Right.
That's how I run my department. Is I put people in places so I make sure jobs get done and I don't have to micromanage.
Yeah. It made me think back. Let's see. Have I ever done something in a job that was that monumentally bad? And so far the answer is no, thankfully, but I can't imagine. How would it feel to be the guy that caused an outage like that?
Well, but here's the thing. I mean, it's not like it was a hack as far as I know. It was
no.
Yeah, so it
was a bad software update.
Exactly. So I feel like that this is crazy that Congress is calling them in. It's like, why? Like, it's not a data breach. It's not. It's our reliance. It just showcases our reliance on technology and how we get personally offended when our technology doesn't work, when in all actuality, technology is fallible, as we have come to find. I don't know why Congress would be calling them in to crucify him, because it's like, really, they fixed it as fast as they could, you know, like, but
It's because
Congress has to make a televised showing that they are handling the problem, that they are in control. That's all this is. It's a public flogging is all it is.
Why don't they go after the organized groups in different countries that actually do denial of service and hacks? You know, send Delta over there or SEAL Team 6, and you know, that would make me happy. That would be a great statement. You screw around with our infrastructure through our computer networks, and we will come and fight you. We will find where you're at.
Exactly.
We will zero you out of the equation.
Listen, we are just way too nice as a country.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's an attack when you do that. It's an attack. So we ought to just answer it in a lethal manner.
Yeah.
I love
rather than indicting 24 guys in a building in St. Petersburg, bomb the fucking building and say, okay, you want to try that again?
Right.
But
I like Jen's comment. Congress is doing the dreaded something.
Yeah, exactly.
We're really only safe when they're not in session.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I agree 100%.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to share. So we had this weekend, we had a shoot, and Dale, don't. We have to be tight-lipped around certain things. But I can share a couple things. I'm going to pull up our drive because we got some great photos and we got some great. Let me pull something up. So here is okay. Share screen, window.
Okay, am I not supposed to mention that Frank Parker was there?
Yeah. No, don't mention Frank Parker because we know CBS is hot after Frank Parker.
He put it all over Facebook, so I mean, if they're watching closely,
I know. Yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, we need to welcome any of the haters that are watching tonight because they love watching They love and then they go back to their little Axanar and talk about, ooh, Alex said this. Or, pathetic. You guys need a live, really. But anyway, so here's this weekend. This is Paul Osborne, who is one of our truly loyal volunteers. He had gotten some blue cage costumes made. And I said, oh, well, that's perfect for Daedalus. I said, why don't you come and, we'll make you a captain or admiral or something or other. And so he did. And so this is us doing the documentary style as with Axanar. And this is for the Daedalus short. It's Ships of the 4 Years War, the Daedalus class hospital refit. That's the long-winded title of this short. The title is longer than the film, I think.
He was promoted to Daisy, according to his comm badge there. Like, it looks like a daisy.
I know. That's the Starbase symbol. So there's Paul. And then we had, oops, that's not enough. Hold on. Let me figure this out. There we go. So then here is Nadia, who is one of our extras for the Icarus. And so Paul had made a women's blue cage costume, which again you never see. And I'm like, oh, we need that. We need that in there. But it was for his daughter Lauren, who's been on our, who's been on our set for years. She's off to college now, and so I needed someone who was small. She's a size small, right? And so I'm like, I said, oh, Nadia, because I remember Nadia. When she came when we were shooting Icarus, which I guess was last year, when she came out, I was looking for extras and was kind of picking people who love Star Trek. she's a big Star Trek fan.
Mhm.
So she comes in. I'll never forget. She comes in. I'm trying to fit her for a costume. I go, like, what size are you? Because I'm thinking you're small or. And she goes, because she's tiny. She goes, oh, I don't know. She goes like an 8 or 9, and I'm going,
No,
honey, you're a size 2 soaking wet. So we put her in a costume, and I don't think you actually. I think I'll have to go back and see the edit if you actually see her. You may just see her walking by headless at the top of the frame. But so anyway, I told her, I said, you know, and I know she works in the industry. I said, why don't you come back? And so she did, and she had a blast. And she's got a great look. Very distinguished looking, and she's got like gray streaked hair. So I'm like, oh, you look like an admiral. We need to get you on. So not only so it worked great. So she did her stuff for Daedalus, and then I said, you know, I like that so much. I said, why don't we figure out a line for you that you could do something that would fit into Axanar, because then we have an extra woman, because we don't have a lot of women in Axanar, but we add another one, which is good, and plus that uniform looks great. We don't have a blue cage uniform in Axanar. I'm like, this would be really, really good. So that's kind of what we did, and we, I said, okay, give me like 20 minutes. I got to figure this out. So I went back and I pulled up the edit, and I said, I think her talking about the Daedalus would fit in one of 2 places. And I went to episode 5 and where I thought it would fit in, and I'm like, no, not there. And then I went back to episode 4. And I found a place. I said, yep, right here. This is exactly where. And Garth says this, and then she says, boom, and I wrote that down, and I gave it to her, and we shot it, and it was it was perfect. It worked great. So so here she is, and good behind the scenes camera shot there. So
she's got a great voice too, just an awesome voice.
Yeah, it is exactly what you think. It's very kind of, she's got a very distinguished voice. And then the other guy, and then this is Sean, Sean is
he's unconventional.
He's unconventional indeed. Indeed, he's unconventional. So there you go. So now, but let me also. So now I'm going to pull up some. We've got some great. Here's some great VFX we got. I may have shown some of you guys this before, but I'm showing it to you again. This is some of the VFX for Daedalus, which our buddy Chris is doing, and he's just doing a freaking amazing job at it. Let's see what else we got.
That is a nice shot.
Yeah, and then. Here's another one. I mean,
I don't think the Daedalus got used well enough in any form of, like it really wasn't in the original series really at all.
Right.
Right.
But
they were pretty old ships by then, weren't they? Or were they?
Yeah. I mean, they're Romulan War era.
Yeah. So. See,
right.
That's why we needed Enterprise season 5. We needed to see the debut of the Daedalus starships.
Absolutely. This is a great shot. I mean, just his model is just spectacular. It looks so good.
It is nice. Yeah, it is good.
And then, oh no, there was one more. Where was it? It's here. Is that this? Here you go. I mean, geez, that model is so crisp.
Mm-hmm.
This is the retiring of the original class.
Oh, so they brought them all home to be decommissioned.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. There you go. Oh, Stephen Ross, look who's the man. Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. Exactly it. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Stephen Ross, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So yeah, some goodness there, some dataless goodness for you guys. Yeah, I was meeting with my lawyer today, which I'll update on the blog. What some of the new interesting things that are going on. Jeez.
Can you tell us anything about it?
No, this is about the lawsuit against Paul Jenkins for copyright fraud. There's really nothing new and interesting. He ran his second lawyer decided he wasn't going to let Paul run up hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal fees anymore. And we're glad to see his second lawyer go because he was a dick. He was a misogynist. He went after Crystal. And the funny thing about this guy, and this is, Paul Jenkins is a misogynist as well. They decided to go, here's Paul Jenkins, who has said many times, Alec is suing my family. No, asshole, I am suing you. I'm not suing your family. Your wife and your 2 kids are nowhere near anywhere on the lawsuit. But what does Paul do? Paul goes after Crystal, right? He includes her in the lawsuit. He deposes her. And then, since our house, where we live it's Crystal's, because she inherited it from her mom. Paul tries all these legal maneuvers with his scumbag lawyer to try and go after Crystal's house. Like,
really? For what reason?
Yeah, first of all, asshole, you haven't even won the lawsuit yet, and you're going to lose because your case is a loser. But nonetheless, he tries to go after Crystal and his best. And this is how sick Paul Jenkins is. He's basically trying to claim that Crystal and I are in a BDSM relationship where she's my sex slave and does anything I tell her to do. Now, and Dale's laughing because anyone who knows Crystal knows she doesn't do whatever. She does whatever the fuck she wants to do.
So wait, he has it backwards. You are her sex slave.
And so yeah.
Oh my God.
So Paul got this lawyer that literally in the legal document addresses Crystal as my slave.
You're kidding me.
Which is, I'm not kidding you. No, I'm not kidding you. This is what a scumbag this guy was.
Wow.
Yeah. And but so Paul, so what happened is Paul's first lawyer, the one talk about scumbags, the guy who got Paul to file a fraudulent copyright. Mm-hmm. This guy should get disbarred. It's such bullshit. Anyway, Paul never paid these guys. And these guys were stupid enough to let Paul run up literally $300,000 in bills. Okay. So they quit because Paul wasn't paying them. And I don't know where Paul supposedly raised $180,000 for his documentary. No one knows where that money went. Didn't go to pay the lawyers. So the first lawyers are suing him for $300,000. Paul's going to lose that. Mm-hmm. The second lawyer just quit because Paul claims he owes him $350,000. And I don't know when. Jesus. I don't know what this. I will say that this guy was spending Paul's money. I mean, he was just spending Paul's money. He was like all these frivolous motions and bullshit. It was just, it's crazy. All this bullshit. He's just like his last the last effort this second lawyer did was a 26-page motion with 225 pages of backup material. It probably I'm sure it was like $30,000 in billing, right?
Oh yeah, because they bill by the page.
Yeah, they bill
by the page, by the hour, by the minute. Yeah.
And so meanwhile, he submits that to the court. My attorney answers it in like 3 pages. He's just like blah blah blah. He's an idiot. the judge basically kicks it, basically denies it in one sentence. So you and your dumbass lawyer spend $30,000 on a motion that the judge kicks in one sentence. But this is Paul basically said he was in debt $650,000 because of this lawsuit. I don't know how that's possible because that's way more. That's almost 3 times what I've spent.
He's got that covered. All he's got to do is do one post in Axamonitor, and boom, he's got it.
Yeah. So the second lawyer fires him, and that's when Paul did his fainting couch GoFundMe. Alex evil, he's destroyed me. I'm so far in debt, and raised $20,000. He thought he was going to raise more than twice that. He raised $20,000. So we think that's how he paid this new lawyer, and the new lawyer is defending him against the $300,000 lawsuit, which he's going to probably lose it on summary judgment because it's a contract that, Paul's like, well, I didn't authorize him to spend $300,000. Yes, you did, you dumbass. And so at the same time, the lawyer's handling our case, our case, which is set to go to trial, which should have gone to trial this month, but because Paul's lawyer was jerking around, it's going to be delayed. And so this guy is now defending this, and now it's going to cost. This lawyer's going to have to spend Bill $35,000 easy to go to trial. And he hasn't even caught up to date. He has all these documents. He's going to spend that $20,000 Paul gave him just getting up to date on a 4-year-old case.
Right.
He's going to have to bill Paul $35,000 to go to trial. Meanwhile, we've been trying to settle this since day one. It's just like, Paul, give up your fraudulent copywriting, and take a hike, and we're good. I said, I don't even care about the defamation claim,
Right.
So anyway, there you go. There is the story of the never-ending lawsuit against Paul Jenkins, which, of course, he's stupid enough to think he's going to win. And Paul and his whole idea is that we're going to prove how evil Alec is, and then use that as part of our documentary. And listen, Paul's been scamming people on this documentary for 4 years now, and it's basically a bunch of losers like Sean O'Halloran and Rob Burnett, who are like, Alec's a bad guy. That's not a documentary, idiots.
Right.
They think it's like the next Tiger King. I got news for you. The reason Tiger King was so big was because the Tiger King was in it, right?
Right.
And there's a murder, And so anyway, these idiots think this is something, and I'm just like, I don't really want to be in a lawsuit. Just, we never should have had to file this. Paul should have just never filed a fraudulent copyright, but he was so intent on being a dick.
Well, the heels are dug in, and you've got support from Google scholars. They do.
Exactly. They do. And listen, I've said many times, there's Paul Osborne there. Howdy, Paul. That the biggest downfall of the haters is that they think they're way smarter than they are. They just think they are the smartest. And I'm like, really? You work at Walmart. You're not that smart.
Right.
You're still.
But all the Googling and all the YouTube videos, you've got to get stuff from that, right?
Right, exactly. So anyway,
what it reminds me of, if you guys want to get into a rabbit hole, I've recently gotten into this kick, and I don't know why. It was one of those things. It's hard to not watch anymore. But YouTube videos, court videos on these sovereign citizens, these people that, oh my God, if you want a good laugh, is when I watch these videos, that group that we're talking about, the first thing I think about, because these people, they go on the internet, they Google this stuff and these YouTube videos, and they have these scripts of information they cite. Not a single one has ever been like, oh, you really zinged the judge on this one. Yeah, you won that case. It's hilarious that and I don't know where this started or how.
It was. I mean, when I joined law enforcement in the early '90s, they were a thing then, and we had to deal with them. So they've been around, but every one of their cases ends with the same phrase: "You may go with the deputy."
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and I thought that this was something fairly new-ish, which I shouldn't have assumed. Okay, well, just be now that I'm hearing about it, it must be new. Well, no, because I asked my sister about that, and she retired several years ago. She was a magistrate for juvenile court here in Hamilton County, where I live, and she said she would get those people too. And I was thinking, wow, so this has been around, I guess, longer than I thought. So this goes back at least, you said, Dale, early '90s. You were dealing with these people.
Yeah. When I first got on board, we had classes on how to deal with them, but they believe in the old common law from England,
right?
And they also cite maritime law as the basis for. You're like, what? But that's I'm not driving on the road, officer. I'm merely traveling.
Yes.
I'm merely traveling. So I don't need to pay taxes, and you don't need to see my license, and I don't need to have a tag because I'm not using it. I'm just traveling. All right, idiot.
Yeah, right.
My daily,
that's exactly it. They think they're smarter than they are.
Mm-hmm.
My daily dose of stupidity that I like to absorb is watching these sovereign citizen videos, and I don't know. It's ridiculous. It blows your mind. Like how do you wake up one day and convince yourself that you're going to win this particular argument or case, citing this stuff that you Googled on the internet and from these YouTube videos you watched? I don't get it. And it reminds me of I don't know.
Listen, getting back to we all have lives, and negative energy in our lives,
right,
does not propel our lives forward. Listen, the amount of time I have to spend with, the bullshit from CBS or the bullshit from Paul, or it prevents my life from going far as doing all the things I want to do to push my life forward or to help animals. I mean, can you believe the haters are going after our animal rescue, right? Let me tell you, I got to say, the village idiot over at Axamonitor, also known as Justin Burton, said that, Alec and Crystal used the money from their GoFundMe for their cruise to the Caribbean. They raise money. Okay, first of all, he said, and he literally said, isn't it funny that the next week after they had a GoFundMe, they went on a cruise? All right, dumbass. I know you've never been on a vacation and certainly never a cruise, Justin. You have to book these things months in advance.
Months in advance. 6
they
months.
do.
Right? Months and months.
No, not if you have a lot of money, then you can skip the line.
See this, dumbass Burton? That is a bill, and that's after we've paid a bunch of it, for $4,000 for the foster dog we're taking care of, right? So when you're out there saying, "Oh, Alex scamming money," all right, here's a small one for $121, right, for one of our kittens. Here was taking care of 3 kittens last week, $400. So when I raise $3,000, on GoFundMe for our animal rescue, it doesn't even cover the expenses. So you and your dumbass friends who are such losers that you hide behind your screen typing about me every day, you're so fucking clueless. This is what we're talking about. You're not as smart as you think you are. And Justin, you're just the stupidest person in the known universe. Let me just. But so I've got thousands and thousands of dollars in bills. Today someone was saying, "Well, geez, your adoption fees are high." Our adoption fees are pretty standard, $125 for a cat. It costs $100 to get a cat spayed or neutered, and that's the low-cost spay or neuter. Add on top, and that's with a rabies shot. Then I'll add on top of it your vaccination, usually like $10, $15. A chip, the location chip, $5 to $10. And so you're at $125. That doesn't cover food. That doesn't cover litter. That doesn't cover vet expenses. When we took one of the little kitten who passed away last week, I walked into UGA and they gave me $1,000 bill estimate. They said, we're going to take care, we'll try and save your kitten, but it's going to cost you $1,000 up to $1,500. Now, what do? Say no? My poor little kitten is in pain, and it may be one of 4 kittens in a litter, but I'm not going to let a little kitten die. I don't see you, Justin Burton, or Paul Jenkins, or any of you dumbasses saving any animals. It's like this animal rescue is expensive. I've spent thousands of dollars this year of my own money taking care of animals, and just so some asshole in Axanar can say Alex scamming money. You guys are fucking idiots, really.
Well, you've got to look at what's easy, and what's easy is to criticize. And what's usually done, what is done in situations like this with these kind of people in groups is what is the simplest thing to do, and that is to type stuff on the keyboard and to say things. But when it comes to doing, that's the barrier of entry.
Yeah. It's easy to criticize people. Of course, these guys just think, they're so stupid. They just think anything I do, I must be trying to screw somebody.
Right.
Believe me, if that was the case, people like Dale Simpson down there and Paul Osborne, who've been working with me side by side at the studio for 7 years. I mean, Dale's former law enforcement here in Georgia. Paul Osborne is former 007 Secret Service, whatever he paid assassin. I don't know what he is, but he was top notch. These people aren't going to hang out with someone who's screwing people,
Right.
But Sean O'Halloran's a lot smarter than these guys, right? Because he knows better. So anyway.
Right, naturally.
Yeah. So anyway, I know they're going to be playing this video and they're going to be criticizing it. It's God bless all that negative energy that's going to come out of this video that you guys spend. It's just going to make your life more mediocre. So keep up the good work, guys. There's Paul Osborne talking about the Starfleet International Conference, which is next weekend, August 3rd and 4th. And second is Axicon at our studio, which, if you're in the area, if you're in the Atlanta area, we want you to come to our studio, hang out with us. I'm going to try and get a couple of the actors to come and hang out and sign photos. And we're just going to hang out. We're going to be in the bridge. I'm going to bring out some sneak peeks of Axanar. And we're just going to take lots of photos and just have a freaking good time.
Maybe you should bring some cats to adopt.
A display case of cats, just walk by, we'll have our little dish of
into the studio.
We'll have our dish of caviar and just walk around and do some cat shopping.
Exactly. Well, we'll have to also, everyone will have to bring a pint of something. So,
but
right.
that those kittens that they buy have to be hollow kittens because Alec is trying to scam people out of money. So he's going to sell the kittens, but they're hollow kittens. So as soon as they walk out of the place, they'll disintegrate.
The matrix disappears.
Yeah, they're holographic cats. So
they're actually tribbles in disguise.
Oh no. Tribbles
people. I'm going to invent technology that will be invented in 200 years just to do it.
Axamonitor, they caught us again.
Yeah, that's the rocket scientists at Axamonitor. Yes. No, it's not all Warhammer and sex toys, but God, I wish we had more of that. But
it could be.
Hey, listen, I do want to take a moment and ask everyone to send prayers to Scott Good, who's been the kind of what was his title? His title is stage manager at the studio. And Scott underwent, was it triple bypass surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I need to, let me. I don't know. I always feel bad about leaving Paul. Let's see. No, that's not the. But so I'm asking Paul Osborne. I'm sending you an invite if you care to join us. But Scott Good is in the hospital. I had a triple bypass, and he's in a coma right now.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and I guess his oxygen level is really low, and they can't bring him out of the coma safely. So they're waiting for his oxygen to go up. And I don't know the details, but we heard. And Scott Good is just one of the nicest guys. Everyone loves him because he is just. Scott Good is the guy that does all the shit work at the studio. He's the one out there blowing the leaves, pulling up the weeds, taking out the trash. He is really he's an amazing guy. Just always volunteering, always working hard. Lives out in like Douglasville, so he's like an hour and a half from the studio. So so everyone's please keep Scott in your thoughts, because we're pulling for him, and it'd be wonderful. I don't think he's going to be available for Axacon, but we're gonna.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping to be able to see him again. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy and just so fucking hardworking. And Scott's expectations of himself are always higher than mine are. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't, I couldn't get on the roof and blow the leaves off. I'm like, dude, you don't need to go, no, don't worry about that, dude. Just relax. He works so damn hard. And so anyway, everyone keep him in your thoughts if you would.
Gonna keep my fingers crossed for him. Hopefully he pulls out of that one.
Yeah, we're listen, man, we're hoping so. We really are, because he's just an awesome human being. So we'll see. But on to other things. So Axacon next week. If you're in town, we'd love you to come and hang out with us.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna take the day off from work and drive down night before and come in for the for Axacon. So I'll be there and hopefully get to see some of you guys there. There's
Paul. Paul, welcome to the live stream.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
So you went from the beard to the goatee, huh?
Yeah, I got it, G.
Well, good to see you. Paul was so how was your screen debut there, Paul?
That was fine. Y'all made it real easy.
Yeah, it's in the format we shoot, it's not that taxing. You don't need to be a pro. You just need to be able to talk. So it was your costumes were literally, it was the costumes that were the key. I was like, oh, blue, yeah, let's have some blue, and so that worked out well. Would have had Lauren in there if she was here, but Nadia did a great job.
No, she did a great job, and I'm glad it was able to work out. I mean, and that wasn't the intention when I told you, hey, I've got this stuff. You weren't welcome to use it. I mean, obviously, that offer continues to go out, but I'm not gonna turn the opportunity down either.
Yeah, no, it was great, and we're glad we did it. Well, hopefully we'll be doing more of that as well. Frank, I sent you an invite as well if you wanted to jump in. Paul and his family adopted one of the Belgian Malinois we saved 3.5 years ago, right?
It was 2019, so that was
That's 2020. It was 2020.
She was born in
19.
19.
Yeah.
So we've had her 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's crazy. How big is she? How many pounds does she weigh?
She's 65.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah. Well, I'm maybe on Saturday I'm going down to see Penny, the foster dog that we had just gotten adopted. The one that left us with an $8,000 veterinary. She's the sweetest dog. So awesome. So she's a big hit. So so that's it. Big J, do you have a dog? Cat? What do you got?
No, I don't have any pets. When I did, I had cats. When I was with my second ex-wife, she had a few cats, and so she was a cat person. But she's got a couple dogs and a cat. So my pet fix is when I see her pets and I can give them back. That's the best pet is one you can hand back over at the at the end of the visit. Be like, all right, here you can clean up after them. I mean, I don't. I'm not. I guess I would consider myself more of a cat person. Because for me, I think dogs are just higher maintenance.
They are.
Yeah. Just with you've got to walk them. You've got to, do. Cats just like leave me alone. I've got my stuff over here, and
But you know what I don't have to do with my dog is I don't have to scoop the litter box.
Yeah, but you got to clean the backyard.
You got to pick up the poop when he poops in your yard.
I take him on a walk, and he does his business out there. It's easy.
But you're supposed to pick up after the dog, even if it's not on your own yard.
I got him so well trained, he picks up after himself.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, God. You're one of those neighbors, huh? So, yeah. No, I actually think the cats are easy. You just clean their litter box. And if you're smart, you spend the $300 on the robotic litter box that cleans itself. And then you don't even have to do that.
Do those things even work? I've always heard stories that they don't work all that well.
God, and there's so many. It's like it seems like there's a Kickstarter every other day for a new type of robotic litter box.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of them. We don't have them, and we just scoop the litter boxes. But we use a Arm & Hammer hardbowl litter, which is really good. It makes it a lot easier. But we're you're always taking care of it. I will happy. Some of you may have seen my Facebook post about Pinot Grigio, who was sick and had to go to the vet and was just not doing well on Monday. Well, he had a respiratory problem, so he got antibiotics when we went to the animal hospital we go to, and he is doing way better now. He improved immediately. And,
good.
He's eating up a storm. And last night, he just was very insistent that he was going to sit on my chest while I worked on my computer in bed. So 3 times I would play with him and make him feel good. And then I go, okay, time to go downstairs. And I get out of bed and walk him downstairs and put him on the food on the crate. And I'd walk back upstairs or I'd be doing something. I'd go back upstairs and there he was on my pillow. Like just wait. Like, oh God, he was insistent. But that was a good sign that he was going up and down the stairs. So anyway, there you go, people. If anyone is interested in Pinot Grigio, he is doing well. By the way, we're about to make a post with pictures of all the Axa kitties, and Axa kitties can be adopted anywhere in the country. We fly them all over the country through Delta Air Rescue Transport, and it doesn't cost you a penny. Which I don't know how we're going to scam you if we're not charging you. But we'll figure out a way.
There's got to be a way. We'll get creative. We'll think of a way. Just give us a minute.
Yeah, exactly. So,
this is actually the think tank of how we think of ways to scam people.
Yeah,
the think tank.
This is our think tank right here.
That's it. It's exactly it. So I'm just looking at the comments. Jen says, dogs will disappear since they are force multiplier when someone chooses poorly in life. Okay, I'm not quite sure I understand that, but I'll take it.
Attack
Listen,
dogs.
We have 4 dogs here, 4 small dogs. We love our dogs. Olive Drab is right. How to scam money without getting any. Yeah, that's what we're all about. We were talking today. I was talking with my lawyer. My lawyer was kind of asking me about Axanar and stuff, and I said, well, we're going to be rolling on to our next project, which is the Orville fan film, and that will be what we launch when we release Axanar. So there's a kind of, it's kind of doing both of them. At Axicon, we'll be showing a little snippet of what's coming up for the next. Sure. Now, Frank, you were just about to end, and Frank Parker shows up.
Sorry about that.
But
at least I didn't walk by the door.
Yeah. And there's Frank on. Are you on the bridge, or are you just projecting that on your green screen?
I'm just projecting that right now.
But that is your actual bridge.
Yes, that is actually the bridge.
That's looking good, dude. That's looking good. I'm actually jealous that you have your bridge in your house, whereas we got to rent the building for our bridge.
It's hot there. It's very hot right now.
Yeah. So, and that's something we've been talking about, what's going to happen with the studio. So there's many things coming down the pipe with that. But so so Crystal is selling the old house where we were, and we moved into her mom's house. Now, ironically, they are the identical house, just two doors away from each other. So, like, if you had come come a year and a half ago and seen us in the old house, and then you came again, you wouldn't know we moved because it's the same exact house. Although it's decorated different. So, but that house, there was still so much stuff in there that we had to take it all out, and there's still stuff in the garage. So stuff is coming over to this garage. So we're trying to clean out this garage. So we have to move our stuff. So yesterday, like Crystal, like you can see, is just like started lining stuff up in my office. Like, this is all your shit. Figure out where it's going. So I'm like, oh damn. It's like, I just cleaned up this office. So yeah, random Captain America shields, all sorts of crap. So so
that's what I do. I clean up my office, and then Riker brings all of his toys back up. Like, you can see, like, he's already started. Like, it's like they're in there, they're in the corner.
Well, look at that beautiful doggy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, buddy. How old is he?
He is 6.
6. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
He's my Riker.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got Pee-wee's downstairs somewhere. He's my Riker, my little one. So, and Dale's got Trooper, and Paul's got Artemis, and what's your other dog?
Dutch. Now, Dutch is a German Shepherd? No, he's Belgian as well.
Yeah.
So now you have 2 Belgians.
Oh, yeah.
Gee, you're a glutton for punishment.
They wear each other out. If you're going to have one, you should definitely have 2.
That's good. So that means that's less work you have to do.
Well, twice the poop, though.
Yeah, I'm sure they eat you out of house at home. You sure you can afford to be retired with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
A good portion of your Social Security check goes to them every year.
Oh, I'm not seeing Social Security yet.
I know. Dale and Dana and I went out to lunch after the shoot on Sunday, and we were there. We're talking about Social Security and Medicare, and I was like, "Holy shit, we're getting old."
Do be a fact.
Yeah, geez.
Cheeto, by the time we're able to retire, there won't be any Social Security left. We're just going to have to work until we're dead.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, that's my plan at this point. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do if I was retiring right now.
Play video
I
games.
can give you some clues.
I guess if I was independently wealthy, I'd be okay.
Yeah, you volunteer on fan films.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear they pay pretty good.
I got a 50% raise. It was great.
Yeah.
I know.
You deserve that raise too.
Yeah.
The good news is we already have the blessing of Seth's team for our Orville fan film, so we're not going to be dealing with lobes and lobes, the lawyers. But yeah, I don't plan on retiring until I'm 80. I mean, I'm 63 right now. Yeah, I don't.
Well, I'm 71 and I enjoy what I'm doing. So why retire? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And we're all going to live long. I mean, chances are we're all going to live into our 80s or 90s.
I don't want to live that long.
No?
No. Cash me out before I get into my 80s. That's too long, especially in the 90s. I look at these people that live over 100 years, and I'm just thinking, not me. Mm-mm.
My grandfather lived until he was 87. He lived at home. The only thing he had was a shuffled gait, which is where where your feet don't move, you don't have a swing step. You just kind of shuffle through and But right. I mean, he lived on his own. He drove. He did all these things until he was 87. And when he was 87, that's when he just dropped dead. And I mean, he had a cardiac episode and just went. But he lived independently up until that very last day.
Good
and you know
him.
what? That's how my dad wants to be.
That is exactly the way to do. Yes,
my mother-in-law the same way. She's 80. She's almost 90. She lives in the house.
Right.
Yeah. If you're in good shape, that's it, and that's the way to go. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
That can cleanse my set.
I don't want to linger.
Peacefully in your sleep, unlike the people in the back seat while you're driving.
Oh gosh. Yeah. That's how we wound up with our second car. Is last year Dad had bought this Kia Cadenza in 2017, I think it is, and it's a big, beautiful luxury car. And last year after so I guess he was 88 at the time, after Easter dinner, we all went out to Easter dinner. He had gotten home, he had driven there, he got back and he handed the keys to Crystal and was like, okay, I'm just done. I am never driving again. Because, he was just realized that he wasn't capable. He didn't have the reflexes. He didn't have, it was scary. And so he said, take the car. So we did. And but still 88, that's a long time to be driving.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I know people that are in their 50s right now that aren't driving anymore.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It also depends on life choices too. These people have probably made poor life choices and stuff like that, which have really affected their cognitive abilities and their reactionary responses and stuff like that. So, I mean, you do have those people that they've kind of pickled their brain, is what I call it.
Yeah.
And, and they just don't. They just can't do it. They don't have the reactionary responses. They don't have the foresight to drive.
The one thing that's bothering me right now is Paul, is your lack of a background.
Yeah, you threw me for a loop. I wasn't anticipating.
Big J, you need to work. I think I'm going to have you mentor Paul, so the next time he comes on our live stream, we have something better than a white wall to look at in his background.
Yeah, we can do beautiful backgrounds now. You can get one of those pop up. They've got these green screens, and what it is basically it's you connect it to your chair. It's just like a fabric thing you put over your chair, and you've got an instant green screen behind you. And there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do there. One of the things I'm thinking about doing, I think will be a trip, is at work to move my chair out of the way, turn on my camera, and just record the view from my camera at my desk for about, half hour, something like that. And then make that recording the background on my screen the next time we're in a meeting and I'm working from home, and have people think I'm sitting at my desk. I'm like, no, yeah, I'm here. I'm looking right at you. You can't see me, and just freak them out, So my background is at my desk, what you would see if I was sitting at my desk, but it's not. It's the green screen. It's the kind of stuff that IT guys think
That's
of.
way too much effort.
Yes, but it's worth it.
But it is
worth it.
I could see doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
Like this.
See, I've got too much. I've got too much time on my hands. And what'll be awesome is people walk by, occasionally. So it's going to look like I'm going to make it look like I'm actually sitting there. See what happens when I have too much time on my hands
in the meeting. Walk by.
Yeah.
Jim's Landscapes wishing you a happy. When was your birthday, Frank?
Yesterday.
Yes. Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank you.
Birthday. Happy birthday. So.
Thank you, Jim.
When you come by the studio, we'll have to give you 71 spankings, I guess.
That's
or
right.
we'll just take him to the strip club and let them do it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I like that idea.
I mean, come on. We got to go from the studio in Lawrenceville down to the airport. It's Atlanta. We're going to pass like a dozen strip clubs.
I'm sure.
All right. I'll have to bring some singles then.
Yeah.
Note to self: visit Atlanta.
They don't have them at the strip clubs. Yeah. Well, good. All right. Well, listen, everyone. It is 8:13, so we'll allow you all to go back to your loved ones now. At this point, go walk the dogs. Go empty your litter boxes. Do whatever it is you need to do. It's been good having everyone here tonight. We have a nice expanded crew, and we'll have more information coming. If you're by the way, the two things that we do need to talk about briefly are make sure you're subscribed to the Axanar Newsletter. Most of you are regulars and you are subscribed. And the other is the Patreon is getting better and better. I'm putting up new content there on a daily basis, not a daily basis, but I would say 3 times a week right now. I'm trying to get new things up, whether it's a screen cap. We showed what Dana's working on as far as the background for the Klingons. We're about to show some more dataless VFX that we just got. So we're going to be we're trying on the Patreon to show more and more things. And you can join for $2, $5, $10, whatever you want. Throw us a Snickers bar once a month, and there you go. And for no other reason than I just saw that we have this thing, Drake's Cakes Doodle. I'm gonna have to check that out. I've been being really. By the way, had my annual physical yesterday. Passed with flying colors.
AXA Monitor just all lost their crap after hearing
Yeah, I know. They're all hoping that I'm going to die. No, guys, I'm going to outlive all of you motherfuckers. My numbers were just, as a matter of fact, today I just got my ApoB number, which is ApoB is kind of like this gold standard of lipoprotein test now. When you go for your LDL, HDL, all your cholesterol tests, you got to ask for an ApoB. Lipo-A, those are 2 tests that they generally don't do because the doctors are all about your low density lipoprotein number, which is really a bullshit number. But my number, my ApoB number, you want to be in the range of like 66 to something or other. 66 is kind of like if you're there. My number used to be 50. My number was 56 earlier this year, and it's down to 45 now. So my arteries are, they're doing well. So you're not going to get rid of me anytime soon.
Good. I hear there's a rumor out there that you paid to get those results from the doctor. Slip them a 5 spot.
Don't break that. Don't break that scam.
Put it in the pocket of a scrubs. Well, here, you keep that.
Yeah, you keep that. Go buy yourself lunch.
Yeah, what lunch are you gonna get for $5?
Well, I know.
Wendy's has a $5 baggy deal.
I know. Crystal loves that.
Yeah, that was McDonald's. So Wendy's has it.
Sam's Club.
Taco Bell.
Gotcha.
Taco Bell. So, hey, everyone. So thank you so much for coming out. Make sure, try and join the Patreon if you can. We will keep you posted. Next week, we will be broadcasting, live streaming from Axanar. So that'll be a lot of fun. And if you're in the Atlanta area, come on down, hang out with us. If you're not a member of our Starfleet chapter, well, down below here is my command crew in the Starfleet chapter. Dale Simpson's the first officer, Paul's second officer, and Frank Parker is our new director. What is your operations officer, whatever. He's the one cleaning out the bilges.
That's right. I've got the toothbrush.
There you go.
Is the Ares chapter doing anything special or specific for the Starfleet International thing, or is it just no, not really, just go if you go? And
we offered, but they don't want. No, they're all scared of CBS.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have all our fun at Axanar. Plus, I mean, it's a hotel. They got a bar. We'll all be hanging out at the bar, and I'm sure I'll probably bring a bottle of Fire on the Mountain, and too, so we can imbibe down there. Scott Voigt is coming in from Texas.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So excited about that. Steve Dixon is coming up from Macon. I will see who else is going to be there, but yeah, and it's basically it's free. Just come to Axanar. It's free, and we will have a good time. All right. Well, listen, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you next. We'll be here next week before Axanar, and if you have any questions, you know where to reach us. So for Big J, Cheeto, Frank Parker, Paul, and Dale, as always, everybody, live long and prosper, and peace and long life to you. Namaste, my friends. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Put some pants on next time, Frank.
I will try. That's the way it is. Yeah, I didn't have.
it was good to see